how to control this urge, because these things are extremely tasty. I couldn't hold myself from getting zinger from KFC. What is the situation?
I was about 51 pounds heavier than I am now.
We're saying that getting too much sugar makes one diabetic.
From my experience and my research is all linked to the sugars.
Useless shitty stuff that we are putting in our stomach and in our heads as well. The junk is not
Correct.
only in the stomach, but the junk is also in the head as well. Hello, dear fellas. Welcome to Side Hustle. Today, I'm going to talk about a subject which is extremely different and which I have not discussed it before in Side Hustle, which is related to health. Most of the time, we are talking about entrepreneurship, business development, but we never talk about our own self. Because if our health is compromised, you will not be able to become a good businessman. So, to discuss this matter, I have Dwayne Burks-Green from Texas with me. Everybody, please welcome Dwayne. Dwayne, how are you?
I'm doing good, Fahad. How about you?
I'm doing very well. So, Dwayne, my audience would like to know who is Dwayne Burks-Green in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, Dwayne Burks-Green is, first off, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I have two beautiful children, I'm a serial entrepreneur, and I'm just an advocate for just people. That's me. I'm big on giving back and I'm big on spreading information, which led me to start writing books.
Right, great. So when I read your profile, I read the word advocate. So it is not in the literal terms of advocate. You're not a liar, but you just say that you're advocate of people, right? Is that so?
That's correct. That's
That's
correct,
correct.
Fahad.
That's correct. That's correct. Okay, so you are a public speaker. What forced you to discuss the matters like health and the diabetes, which is a very, very lethal disease, not only at your part of the world, but in the third world countries like us as well?
Well, Fahad, it's all come from personal experience. Roughly about last year of around about September. Well, no, it's before then. It was around about June of 2023. I experienced a myriad of health issues. One being hypertension. I was taking several medications. I was on three medications for my hypertension. I also experienced heart issues. I was severely overweight. I was about 51 pounds heavier than I am now.
Right.
And I was just out of breath, dealing with sleep apnea. And the biggest thing is something a lot of people don't talk about is erectile dysfunction. I was
Hmm.
suffering with that issue.
Okay. So that was also because of the diabetes?
At the time, I didn't know it. I thought it was because of stress levels and because I
Okay.
worked in the oil and gas field due to long hours. But
Okay.
come to find out, it was all due to
Okay.
undiagnosed diabetes, type
Right,
2 diabetes
right, right.
diagnosis.
We will come to this matter because this is an extremely sensitive topic. ED is itself a very, very big issue. But let's just first talk about diabetes. What do you feel is the major cause of getting oneself diabetic?
The main issue with diabetes is eating too much sugar. Sugar is the main culprit of diabetes. You over time you develop insulin resistance, means your body's natural insulin is used to bring down your blood sugar levels when you eat things with high sugar or high carbohydrate diet. So when you're consistently eating, chips, breads, grains, rice, and those things in extensive fashion, over time, your body's just the overproduction of insulin just
Yeah.
over time just causes your body to malfunction. And then you start to put on weight. Then that's when you start having all the metabolic issues that's associated with that.
Right. But I have heard, I never read it actually, but I have heard that sugar is not the main cause of making oneself diabetic. It is something that you should manage once you become diabetic. Isn't it true? But you were saying that getting too much sugar makes one diabetic.
Yes, yes. From my experience and my research is all linked to the sugars.
Okay.
Just think about it. On a daily American diet over here, you go to McDonald's, you
Yeah.
get a number five, a quarter pounder with cheese with a side of a large fry.
Carbs,
It's
carbs.
processed.
Yeah.
It's processed. It's
Right.
fried in grease. You have the potatoes from the fries, which have literally no nutritional value. You have the bread from the burger, and the bread, as soon as you consume it, it automatically converts to sugar once you eat that. And then sodas. You drink a soda with your meal, and that's completely sugar. It's so you have sugar on top of sugar on top of sugar, and that's just for one meal.
Yeah. Right. We are not that much big influencer that we may affect the shares of Coca-Cola like Ronaldo did 1 or 2
Yeah,
years ago. Okay, but
correct.
even if we could keep one person from taking all these sodas and all this useless shitty stuff that we are putting in our stomach and in our heads as well. The junk is not
Correct.
only in the stomach, but the junk is also in the head as well. So
Correct.
because all these foods, divine, as I have seen, uh, they fulfill our desire to get instant results. That is just instant gratification. Fast food is just making giving us this feeling of quick results. Quick result. We just
Yes.
want to build Rome within a day. So it increases the dopamine level of ours, and the more you take, the more we become addicted of this thing as well. But
Correct.
how to control this urge, because these things are extremely tasty. I couldn't hold myself from getting zinger from KFC. What is the solution? Yeah,
I would say is planning
planning.
and having
Yeah,
alternatives. One, it starts with information and wanting to change. Most of the time, as humans, we don't want to change until something drastic happens.
okay.
And for example, in my case,
Hmm.
I thought I was invincible. I thought I can eat whatever I want, drink whatever I want, and I wouldn't have any issues. I thought diabetes was something you get when you in your 60s or your 70s,
Yeah,
but you
definitely.
can be you can definitely be diabetic at a young age, and it all comes to just planning out your day because we're living in a society where we're moving so fast. We're always on the go. I tell my wife all the time, people are in a rush to go nowhere. If you literally just plan out your day, plan out your meals, I think that can help
Okay.
per se, because when you're in a rush, you're looking for something quick, fast food. That's why fast food is so popular now.
But what are the alternatives? You see, in our part of the world, we do not take that much buns and these burgers. This thing came to our land somewhere in mid 90s. But before that, we always take one. Maybe you are familiar with that. There is a round roti. We say it roti, R-O-T-I, roti. There is
Yeah.
fiber in that. There is gluten in that, and there are multiple. There are minerals. Everything is in that. But still, we guys become diabetic. So whenever somebody is diabetic, the first thing that doctors ask us to abstain from is this roti, and the second thing is rice. So we just wonder what else is there in this world other than these two things. So what are the alternatives for in terms of
So
good food for a diabetic
so
person? Yeah,
alternatives are lean meats. You have your chicken, your fish. You have your in moderation, your red meats, your pork, your turkey. You can eat those, and then
yeah,
also low carb vegetables such as lettuce, Brussels sprouts.
right.
I would avoid carrots. Carrots have or can be affect if you have diabetes. It can affect your blood sugar levels, but the tomatoes, all your low carb vegetables, I would avoid. Um, if you have type 2 diabetes, I would avoid a lot of fruits. Uh, if they're not berries, for like blackberries, blueberries, strawberries, those are good for you. But grapes and like watermelon and bananas And oranges, they may affect people who have full-blown diabetic. Now, if you're a healthy person in moderation, those are fine. But if you have full-blown diabetes, that may affect your blood sugar levels.
But not all the fruits are the same. One must check
No,
the glycemic index. I have heard
glycemic
that
index.
apple is good for sugar, people suffering from diabetes, isn't it?
Yes, apple is fine. Like I say, everything is it's all about moderation and looking at the glycemic index and the glycemic load. The load that,
Ah,
how if it's over, like I believe it's 50, it may have a significant spike in your blood sugar levels. For
okay.
instance, have you ever noticed when let's just say you're having your blood sugar is pretty low and the first thing they tell you to do is drink some orange juice to help bring your blood sugar within 15 minutes you check it, your blood sugar will be, high. That's just the difference between the different fruits and vegetables. And I actually created my brand is type 2 diabetes bully. That's the shirt I
Okay.
have on. So
Right.
I created a cheat sheet because a lot of people, just to be honest, most people may only read one book a day. I
Yeah.
mean a year. So
Yeah.
I created a cheat sheet. It's right here,
That,
and it shows you like
right.
eat this, not that. It shows the
Okay.
lean meats,
So
the
is
fruits,
that included in your book
and
as well?
things of that nature.
That's in your book as well?
No, this is a separate
Okay. Okay.
no sir. It's in the it's separate, but I created this after just interacting with people who, they're proud of the book, they're proud of the, the life journey, the health journey, but in reality, a lot of people don't read. And we want to consume information quickly. So I added pictures and everything so that can be consumed quickly.
Right, right. Reading has be sounds like a disease for people these days. I've heard Jim Rohn, one talk of Jim Rohn that was from mid 90s. And at that time, he said that an average American reads only one book in a year. In 90s,
Yep,
it must have drastically went down by now. So people do not read that much. And pertaining to matter of one's health, it is something that we always ignore. This is not something of our concern. Our major concern is always the one in which we get some commercial benefits, right? So,
correct.
but we always overlook that all of these commercial benefits, all these money matters, they are directly linked to one's own health. So, Dwayne, some years ago when I was about to get married, my father always used to ask if the parents of the girl have got diabetes or not, because he had this I won't say myth, or he had this belief on the basis of his experience that genetic has to do so much with diabetes. So it doesn't matter whether you take too much sugar or not. If your parents have got this diabetes, the chances are that 90% of chances are that you are also going to become diabetic someday. What's your stance on this matter? Does genetic
Well,
play?
I believe that it plays a part, but it's
Mhm.
also just because you grew up in a like let's just say your dad and your mom were both alcoholic. Just because you're born in an alcoholic home doesn't mean that you're just
Yeah.
supposed to become an alcoholic. It all
Mhm.
comes back to those habits that you see. If you see your dad um eating sugars, things with high carb diet, you're gonna grow up doing the same exact thing. And so to help, alleviate that, I would suggest to, uh, just uh learn about carbohydrates. Look at
Okay.
the package. Most of the time, if it has a package, it's probably not as good for you. If you
Mm.
let's eat looking at lean chicken, most of the time it doesn't have any kind of facts on the back where hey it contains this much carbs or this much protein. It's just a chicken, but versus a bag of chips, you see everything. You have 400 calories,
Right.
300 grams of carbs, all
Right.
that. So I would I would say it doesn't necessarily have to mean that because my mom is a type 2 diabetic, so I
Oh,
knew growing up that it's a possibility that I may become
Right.
type 2 diabetic, but it all falls back on me and the choices I made that brought that into fruition.
Right. So, Divine, let's just talk a little bit about the weight loss as well. Before starting this interview, I was asking Divine that the pictures of him that he showed to me, he was looking a bit old. And now, when I saw him, I thought maybe he is Divine's son, or he is actually Divine himself. So he told me that he has lost almost 50 pounds. How you did that, Divine, and how anybody who is watching you can lose weight? Just tell me that idiot's guide that how to lose weight. Don't make it too much complex because we have seen so much shit all over this internet. Just get us a
Right.
straight solution. Yeah.
Straight solution. The things I did to lose weight is three things. I made a choice. That's the first thing. Make a choice that you're gonna change.
Right.
Then I removed the breads, the rice, the what else? Breads, rice, and mostly anything that contained high carbs. So I lowered my carbs.
Right.
So that was the second thing.
Lower the
And then
carb.
the third thing I did was fasting. I did a 16-8 fast, meaning I picked 8 hours out of the day would be my eating window. So if it's from my eating window was from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Central. Between that
Right.
time, that's the only time I only ate twice. I
Okay.
ate at 11 and I ate at 7, well, 6 or 7, 6:30.
Right.
I didn't eat anything. I didn't snack. I didn't do anything after that time period. So I wouldn't eat until the next day after my last meal at 6:37. I wouldn't eat again until 11. And those are the three things I did: walking, reduce my carbs, and fast, 16-8 fast.
Right. So you fast for 8 straight hours, right? You see, in Pakistan,
16 hours.
16 hours, 16 hours. That's great. That's you see in Pakistan and India,
Yes, sir.
a majority of people are Muslims, right? And we have this fasting is actually a major part of our religion. You see, one entire month of 30 days Ramadan, if you know it, we fast. And I have seen in Ramadan, the people who are diabetic, they make an excuse that since we are diabetic, we cannot fast. So whoever is listening to me in this podcast, look at Divine. Divine is a source of inspiration for you guys. He's 36 years of age and he is fasting for 16 hours straight of time. So Divine, in the medical context, what is actually the advantage of this fasting? What is the advantage? And how does it help
So
in
the advantage of fasting is it's called autophagy. Autophagy. Basically, your body creates new cells after around about 14 hours. It starts all the bad cells. It starts rejuvenating the new cells to help, improve your insulin resistance.
right,
Also, your fat cells, because you're not eating in that time, your body needs fuel. So it starts taking your fat cells and converting that into fuel. And so that's why you start to lose weight, because your body, it's
right,
so amazing how the body works. It uses your fat stores as fuel, because the way our body is made back in the day, we never knew when we are going to eat back in the caveman
right,
days. You may only, you know, kill something and you may only eat one time that week. So, your body had to come up with a way to adapt for survival.
right. So, how much time you took to lose 51 pounds?
It was roughly about 4.5 months. About 4.5 months.
Wow. Only in 4.5 months, you have lost
Yes, sir.
51 pounds. And what changes you have seen in yourself after doing this, other than the physical
Oh
appearance?
man,
Yeah.
just my face, physical. Mentally, I'm stronger. If I'm being honest, it's something about abstaining from eating the things that got me into this situation, and also realizing that I made a decision, I prayed about it, and I told God that, hey, I'm going to change, and I stuck to my word. That's the biggest thing. You have to convince yourself after you make, I don't know all of the people that are watching, I don't know what religion they are, but you have someone that you're in connection with
Right.
that's higher than you. And so once you ask for help and they give you a download to what you can do, you have to stick to that word. And
Right.
that was the thing for me. I was just like, thank God for saving my life. If you give me this opportunity, I'm gonna use it, and also to give you glory and tell people about how you helped save me. So that's the biggest thing. Just making that decision, man, that you're gonna change and you're gonna do something different.
Right. So, Divine, there are already so many books written on the same subject. Why one would choose to read yours?
One would choose to read mine, honestly, because I would say one thing is because of my age. I was diagnosed at such a young age. Usually, most of the books that are out, um, they're usually older, and a lot of them are doctors. I'm not a doctor.
Yeah.
I graduated
No.
university, but I'm not a doctor. I'm just a everyday blue collar worker that discovered something, and I just wanted to tell the world my discovery. And if
Right.
I can do it, you can do it.
Right. 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 That's great. And what do you do other than that? What's your actual
I
profession?
So my profession by trade, I work in operations. I'm an operations trainer. Uh, but I also have several businesses. I host a podcast. It's called the Movers and Shakers podcast. That I'm
Okay.
in year 6 now of doing the Movers and Shakers podcast.
Oh,
And I also have a mobile entertainment company where we do corporate functions, weddings, where we DJ and provide lighting and equipment rental. And so that keeps me pretty busy. And on top of all of that, I work at my home as a full-time father and husband.
that is certainly the biggest profession, and that
Yes,
that
sir.
pays you a lot. That pays you a lot. Not in terms of
Yes,
dollar,
yes,
not in
sir.
terms of dollar, but in terms of a strange virtual currency, which is called love. Love. So,
Right.
Divine, what's your next plan from here? Where we would see Divine in 2035, let's say, what Divine would be doing after.
I hope I my plan is to be one of the largest type 2 diabetic motivational speakers.
Oh,
And like I said, my word is advocate. My mentor, he doesn't know. Hopefully he'll watch this. One of my mentors is Les Brown. I listen to Les
mine as well.
Brown.
Mine as well.
Yes, yes. I listen to Les Brown. I've been since 2016. I've been on a self-help journey, and Les Brown has been the biggest inspiration in my life. So
Yeah,
I hope to be able to inspire millions, like uh, Les Brown, man. That's just my goal. But in
right,
my own lane of type 2 diabetes,
right.
to hope it inspire change, man. That's the biggest thing. All people need is hope. If you can give people hope, man, you can move mountains.
No matter how bad it is, no matter how bad it gets,
Yeah.
I'm going to make.
My
I'm going
kids.
to
Yep.
make it.
I'm
His,
gonna make it.
yeah, his speech
How
is
you got that right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. His speech in Georgia Dome, I couldn't recall how many times I
Yep.
have listened to that speech in my car. So whenever I'm alone and whenever I'm feeling
Yes.
alone, I just switch to Les Brown. That person
Yes.
is literally a transformer. Okay, so Divine, let's just wind it up. Where people can find you, how they can approach you, and if there is any product that you are currently selling, any diet plan that you are selling, anything which you are selling, and how we can approach you to get all that. The mic is yours. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have my health brand is type 2 diabetes bully. This
Okay.
is the merchandise that I have available. I can send you links for everything, but
Right.
it's the type 2 diabetes bully, and
Right.
I'm on all social media as type 2 diabetes bully and author Dwayne Burks-Green. Both of my books that I've released, my latest release, Revitalize Your Health,
Oh,
is available on Amazon. And my first book I ever wrote was Bet on You, How to
good on you.
Escape the Rat Race.
Right.
Let me get
Right.
over.
Right.
There we go. They're both available on Amazon. And my cheat sheet for what to eat and how to reverse
Right.
type 2 diabetes, the T2 diabetes bully. It will be available on Etsy soon. I'm working out all the details on that. But if you would like to connect with me for speaking engagements, one-on-ones, interviews, it is T2diabetesbully at gmail.com. And it
Right.
is T2diabetesbully at gmail.com.
Right. So, Divine, whoever is struggling at this moment with his or her health in a relationship or in a career, the person is stuck. What would be your final message to that person?
If you're stuck, I would say, why are you stuck? Write that down. Take out a pen and pad. Why are you stuck? Write down your thoughts, your feelings. And then once you have that down, we can come up with a plan. Hey, well, my diabetes, I can't get my A1C down from 11.5 to, let's just say, just make a goal of 10.5.
Right.
So let's look at your diet. What are you eating currently right now? Are you
Right.
eating McDonald's 4 times a week? Okay, if you're eating fast food 4 times a week, let's get it down to two times a week. And then in 3 months, let's go back and get checked. I say just make changes, figure out what's wrong with you, and then see how you can devise a plan. And if you don't have an idea, go on YouTube. That's what I did. Like when I was going about my journey, how to reverse my type 2 diabetes, the first thing I did was go on YouTube and I typed in how to reverse type 2 diabetes. And the first person I came across was Dr. Jason Fung. He's the author of the Obesity Code. That was the first person I came across. And then that led me to Dr. Berg. He's also on YouTube and he's written several books. And then the last person I found, it was a channel called Beat Diabetes, in which I did an interview on. And I soaked up so much information with reading and YouTube. And I started implementing the strategies, and I started documenting in my journal everything that worked for me or that I didn't really care for, or all my notes. And that's how I came up with my book. Honestly,
Right.
I came up with what was the problem, where can I go to get some information. That was YouTube. And I just downloaded so much information in a short period of time, and through the grace of God I was able to come up with my second book.
Right. So, whatever you guys are going through, just write it down, make a goals, find a good mentor, and whatever problem you're facing, go to YouTube. Everything is available all on internet for free. Okay. So,
Yes.
Divine, thank you so much for being on the show. It was literally a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fahad, man. It's an honor, man. I look forward to future endeavors.
Sure.